Welcome back, and today we are going to be taking a look at the MiG-25PD in War Thunder. It's 11.0, it's an event aircraft, so unfortunately you are going to have to spade this thing. And if you are wondering about the explosions in the background, it's mainly because, well, if you are familiar with the Netherlands, around New Year's Eve it turns into an absolute war zone, a bit like this. The MiG-25 is of course an incredibly fast aircraft with a good set of missiles, but that's not the entire story. There are some big limitations that really hamper you in an Air RB setting. In Sim it's probably going to be a little bit better. In Air Arcade I cannot assume that this thing is going to be all that good. Let's take a look at the R40s. Right now they are basically the same thing as R24s, meaning you have a pretty good set of missiles. The issue is that this radar does not have pulse Doppler. It has MTI like you find on the MiG-23, meaning that you need to go under 1400 meters in order to activate it. This is a bit of an issue, as this is where your plane performs at its absolute worst. And because it is a hard limit on the altitude, you're basically forced to fly level with the ground, because if you reach 1400 meters in a 90-degree dive, you're probably just going to crash. Now of course this wouldn't be a major issue because, well, the MiG-25 thrives at high altitude. Again, other than the first early climbers, this doesn't really come into play. Luckily the non-pulse Doppler radar is honestly not that bad when it comes to terrain clutter. When people fly above 200 to 300 meters, you will be able to lock onto them pretty reliably if you're not too far away. Looking for them is a bit of a different issue. And then the other one is the R40 RDs have IOG, meaning that when the enemy chaffs, if you keep the lock on, most of the time your missile will still find the enemy players. Then we have the R40TD. It's the IR variant, and I like to carry this because, well, as I said, the radar is a bit of a limitation, so having some IR missiles is a good alternative. These can be locked on from about 10 kilometers from the rear, and they have a good bit of range. The issue is that, again, you are going to be shooting on people on the deck. They're mostly in the furball, so be careful that these missiles aren't going to be flared by a teammate actually engaging them. Accidentally getting flared is a bit of an issue, so you need to be sure that you are going to be zipping around the map looking for people that aren't being engaged. And I think someone just got an R40 directly on the forehead just outside of my house. The good thing is that the R40TD is able to be fired from people top down, people that aren't paying attention, and it's a good way to collect some free kills. And then we go to the R60s. I carry two of these. Yes, brings up the missile count a little bit, and I don't think about the R60 like a personal defense weapon. I use it to kill people that aren't paying attention, a very free one when I get close to them, because then I don't have to waste a big one and I get two of them. So this way we get 5 missiles. I don't think it's really worth it to substitute both of the outer pylons out, because the R60s don't come into play all that often, but I do think it's nice to have a little bit more game impact when you play the entire match. In the background you can see the missiles doing that thing. Let's actually take a little bit of a look on how to play it. Honestly, I'm just zipping around the map about Mach 1.5 at about 7-ish kilometers, maybe 6 kilometers. We drop the nose, we look for stragglers. At the very start I'm looking for people at high altitude, and I'm just scanning the horizon. The high altitude people are basically a guaranteed kill if they don't chaff and dodge properly. If they chaff and then change direction, really get out of that seeker, they can dodge it, but it's pretty hard to do. And with the limited function of the RWR on the other planes, it's honestly pretty hard to pinpoint exactly where it's coming from for most of your enemies. So in general, these things are basically free kills at the start, and if you run 4 of these, I really couldn't blame you. The issue is that, yet again, you need to collect people on low altitude. So that's what we do here. We get no one at the start, so we get to drop on them for free. And when you drop on them for free like this, you get 2 free kills. And then you need to reassess the situation, because now we're only going about Mach 1 in the middle of the map, and this is way too slow. If people jump me now, I died. So I need to get out of here, so I'm going to go into the direction of the least enemy resistance, and I'm just going to straight line it while climbing a little bit. I need to get out of here. The plane is fast enough to basically dodge every missile thrown at you. The issue is that you need to go to high altitude to actually do that. So War Thunder is not the place for this plane right here. We get out of here, we're going Mach 1.1 now, we have a little bit of altitude, everyone is on the deck, but I haven't been looking around properly and I tunnel vision a little bit on this J7D. I wanted to get this kill because it would be funny. We lock onto him, we shoot off that missile, he is 100% dead. Everyone is below us, we don't need to worry about basically anyone here as long as they aren't right behind us on the same altitude and shooting missiles. We are now again on a bigger map and we see a guy at about 15-ish kilometers. You can fire it from further, but I just advise you not to do so. You only have missiles, you need to make them count. MiG-23 gets a little bit closer. The lockbox is a little bit out of place, but it doesn't matter, hits him anyway. MiG-21 starts coming up and you can tell that even though I don't have pulse Doppler, I am able to lock onto him. He flies straight at us. He tries to dodge it, but he's too slow, doesn't chaff, hits him directly in the forehead. And now we just want to again skedaddle. You can tell that I'm overspeeding at about 1260. I need to get out of here, I need to get some altitude. The issue is that I only have two R60s as well as the R40 TD. So I can shoot this missile off, but I need to shoot it on someone that isn't paying attention or straight up doesn't have flares. MiG-21 directly below us, and I'm thinking, well, I can fire on him, but I have a feeling that he is going to be flaring. He is going to be doing things to the J7 that's behind him. So I just want to keep a look on him, keep a look at him, and wait for him to do his thing. The second I fire my missile, he fires his own missile, flares mine. Talk about cold timing. That's a missile dead in the water. That guy should have been dead, but whatever it is, he got a little bit lucky. Flared there anyway, so probably would have been fine regardless. But I'm going to switch targets. Drop the throttle, drop the air brake, pitch straight down, 90-degree angle. Most people don't see this coming. Neither did he. That's going to be kill number 3. We go back to rearm and land after we outrun that missile from the A-10C. And we get behind an F5 that just got done dogfighting the J7D in my squad. Random squad, but doesn't matter, his name is Green. He flies perfectly straight and he just collects it. He didn't really do anything. We get a free kill. MiG-21 is in the multipad and I'm just gonna keep him locked on. As you can tell, keeping the lock isn't an issue. The second he pitches up, we dump the missile. We get kill number 5. And then unfortunately, when we go for a land, because there is an F-104 and an A-10C left, the tickets run out for no reason and I lose all my progress. I wasn't on the ground for more than 30 seconds, but the tickets went down anyway. It is what it is. Would have been a fun game. But this is Gaijin, this is War Thunder, so it has to go wrong one way or the other. This time around we are at about 10 kilometers, because I know that you guys were going to ask, why are you not at high altitude fighting people like this plane is supposed to? Now going Mach 2.5, 3 isn't really likely, but at this altitude you are actually incredibly strong. We are going to be dogfighting 2 F4Es and an F5 that's going to be joining in a little bit later. And we are just gonna keep going vertical and going in very wide loops. This thing is a bit of a boat, but honestly, at about 800 kilometers an hour, or 400 kilometers an hour, sorry, that is IAS, it's honestly pretty maneuverable for what it is. It has a lot of power. The issue again is going to be getting the missiles on target, because at super close range, they are not the most reliable. We open up the gap here, F4EJ, at 3 kilometers distance, at 9 kilometers altitude. Pulse Doppler isn't necessary. Hits him directly in the forehead, and we are going to continue going into this very wide turn. And you can tell that even though I'm turning fully, I am holding the elevator key. I'm not tapping the negative elevator. I'm just full sending it here. And it doesn't look like it, I know, but you can see that I'm holding a pretty decent speed. And the people below me, they are not maintaining the speed whatsoever. So I can go into an horizontal here, the boat falling out of the air, and I'm going a little bit too slow here. I would like to pick up a little bit of speed, but if I go straight, pick up some speed, reset the fight, they are now directly behind me, and it's going to take me a lot more energy and especially time to get back to this position. So I'm actually going to just full send it yet again. We're going back to about 0.8 Mach, which is good enough for this plane at this kind of altitude. We lock onto the NF5, and honestly, it doesn't matter what he does at that kind of speed, he's going to eat it directly in the forehead. Now the F4EJ here is going to notice that it's not really going to work out in his favor, and he is going to get destroyed if he tries to go vertical with me over and over again. And he notices this. He doesn't notice it just yet. He's going to try to get close one more time. I'm pre-chaffing, I'm pre-flaring, because if missiles get locked onto your engines, it's basically impossible to flare. These engines are insanely hot, they're pretty big, and you need to put the flare dispenser in between you and the plane. The issue is it pops upwards, so you're kind of forced to keep turning into them. If they are below you, please turn around, invert your plane. Let the flare dispenser be in between the missile seeker, even if it's only an AIM-9E, even if it's only an R60M. Please put the flare dispenser between you and the enemy missile before they launch it, because you're gonna have a little bit of an issue otherwise. 9 out of 10 times you are fast enough to outrun it if you play it right. If not, aim your flare dispenser. The EJ then noticed, of course, that he was never going to be killing me. He dives to the deck and I get pulled into a 6v1 and there is just nothing I can do. This F4EJ is just kind of paying attention to someone else. Sees me last second. RD, he's dead. Now we need to deal with the people on the deck, and we need to deal with someone that is going to be chasing me around. We have a guy on our 6. It's a J7D. He's never going to be catching me, but I am spotted now. And this F5, because of that, now actually notices that I'm coming down on him. If you are spotted, if you have a guy in your 6, don't start using the IR missiles. It's 9 out of 10 times going to get flared, because they will just know that you're there. The J7D, nowhere fast enough, because he pitched up for us, did a bit of an Immelman, and then tried to chase us. MiG-21 is a little bit quicker, but again, we are way too fast. And if he isn't fast enough, the R60 is never going to be reaching me. For now, I'm simply going to be disengaging. I'm going into the clouds, and I'm going to be getting some separation, so I can make a wide loop, let the MiG-21 keep going for us. That isn't really an issue. Pop a random order so that they can blind hunt me. That is the bane of your existence. If people know you're there, you're gonna have an issue unless you can pull them into high altitude and just radar missile them. I see everyone on the deck, everyone is still spotted, but I'm sometimes getting pings from someone on the RWR. The RWR is complete dog shit. It only tells you the quadrant, and whether someone is launching or tracking, it won't tell you. It just says, good luck, deal with it. MiG-21 shoots a missile. That's not even going to reach me. Pre-flare it anyway. And we are going to start going straight. We are very high now. And we're going to dive straight back down. Be careful. Diving actually makes your enemies quicker than you. So don't dive too deep. And have enough separation to go back into altitude to start outrunning people again. But I'm going into the clouds. These people aren't paying attention. It's kind of dusk spotting. So I have a pretty good feeling that that missile is not going to be on any of their radars. That's going to hit. There we go. Kill number 3, I think it is. And we're just going to go away again. We're going 1300 kilometers an hour IAS. That's about the same rip speed as the MiG-21. But he is not going to be going this speed right now. Luckily for us, he actually continues to dive to the deck. And there is 2 J7Ds on the deck still as well. But I have some teammates around, and I'm going to keep them for spotting. And you can tell that this plane is pretty like a vulture. You just want to run around, you want to make long attacks, and you want to attack the people that are vulnerable or occupied with someone else. I will always go for the people that are behind a teammate, because they are less likely to flare. Just be careful that they don't flare missile your missile. MiG-21 in the dogfight. He is completely in the clear, or at least he thinks so. Isn't paying attention to me, doesn't flare. Kill number 4. We only have 1 missile left. It is an R60M. But the J7D is busy killing bots. And actually that was kill number 3, not kill number 4. Kill number 4 is about to occur directly on your screen. 2 kilometers. The R60 don't have much range, but he's not going super fast. So it doesn't matter. He collects it and we go back to land. The Kafir also went back to land, but he changed his mind mid-approach and actually turned back around. There he is. Luckily, we have enough missiles to deal with this guy, so we lock onto him. We wait for the lock to get a little bit closer. We fire off the missile. If he doesn't flare it, we get a nice little kill. Just for good measure, let's take a look at another full game. It's not the most interesting, longest game, but it gives you a good perspective on how you have to play it. Again, we started high, mid-altitude, 6 to 7 kilometers. Yet again, this guy collects the R40 directly on the forehead. And there is the Mirage. It's a Mirage, whatever. But I don't have the ability here to pull into that, because he's a little bit too fast, a little bit too close. If I pull in there, he might actually radar missile me, or straight up just full commit head on me. This thing is the size of a small country, so you need to be wary of people's guns in a head on as well. We just kind of dive away. We go semi-straight line, and we're just gonna be ignoring this guy because he is nowhere fast enough to do anything about us. Is he going to be chasing us for a little bit? I mean, probably. It's a MiG-25, it's not actually out yet, and people just want to kill it. And if you are wondering how I got it, I of course get a test drive from Gaijin in order to show you guys what this plane is like. But you know, it's kind of what we expected, just a little bit more intricate than I thought. We just kind of wait for the Mirage to break off. He finally does so, and then we go into our little Mach 1.2R turn without losing any speed whatsoever. What do? We look for targets. The issue is that there is a lot of clouds on this map. They're everywhere, and it's dusk time spotting, so it's going to be rather annoying if my team dies in order to do anything in this match. You can see they're everywhere. We only have 3 IR missiles, and that's basically the only thing I can do when I'm playing at this kind of altitude. The clouds are going to be blocking the R40TD at long range, so I need to find an angle where I can actually do something. I also want to actually go for the targets that are important, because I'm not going to waste a missile on something like an AMX. J7D here is flying in. I switched to the R60. I noticed that I'm going to get a little bit closer than anticipated. So we wait for the lock, we fire off the missile, he should be dead, and then I might have the ability here to go for someone else, the E10 Dart. The issue is he's flaring, he's pulling into the clouds, so I'm just going to go head on with him just to get a little bit closer, make him waste more speed if he tries to do 180 for us, and we just go straight back up. But you can tell we're only going about Mach 1 at this point. Not the biggest deal in the world. Everyone is on the deck, we have a down tier here, and there aren't really planes that can contest us in this kind of speed anyway. So go Mach 1 when you have planes around you that aren't that quick. Not the biggest deal. Keep in mind, sometimes you might miss one of them, like a J25XS 1.4 directly on your 6. AMX, again, not a priority target. I'm trying to go for the MiG-21 or the Mirage. Issue is the E10 Dart is kind of going exactly where I'm going, and he's gonna end up pretty close on my 6, so I'm just gonna peel off, go back vertical, and reassess. AMX behind me, not a major issue. But the F5 has an F4EJ and an Su-22 chasing him, so I'm gonna try to lob an R40TD at him. I then noticed the Su-22 breaking off, and I thought I could shoot this. It should probably pull in. Unfortunately, this guy actually has eyes and ends up flaring it right out of the air. I then switch on over to the E10 Dart. I should probably go for the EJ on the left here, shoot an R40 at him, and then shoot the other missile at this guy, but it is what it is. I'm chasing him, he's pre-flaring. I'm just gonna drop my nose a little bit, get a little bit lower, pick up the radar signature, and if he then doesn't go straight down into the ground, that missile is definitely going to be hitting, especially if he doesn't use chaff. The MiG-25 is a bit of a mixed bag. While being incredibly fast at altitude, it's incredibly limited on the deck. The RWR doesn't tell you dick, and the missile loadout, while pretty diverse and pretty decent, is limiting because it's all you have. You don't have a gun. The gun wouldn't make it all that much better, but it would give you some options. And honestly, if it had a gun, I'd probably run for big missiles instead of the R60s, because now I'm able to kill people that aren't paying attention. Is it a letdown? No, it feels a bit as expected. It honestly was better than I thought, just because I thought it would be such a mismatch for RRB that it would be completely useless. But as of right now, this thing might actually go up in BR. Should you keep this thing will be a lot of money in the future if they don't end up adding other MiG-25s to the tech tree, or perhaps MiG-31s. Will they not do that? I doubt it. If this becomes the only one, just like with the F-117, yeah, I would say that this thing will be a lot of money. But don't quote me on it. I was very wrong with the BI-1, and I might be very wrong right now as well. Very quickly, stock. This is not fantastic. This is also a little bit rough. It is what it is though. Let's take a look at the loadouts here. So the outer pylons, you can have R60s or the RD. Inner pylon, you can go for the 2 telephone poles, and of course the other side is the same thing. And in the middle, you can bring a 5-ton drop tank, which somehow weighs 60, almost 67 kilograms, isn't it? A little bit unfortunate there, Gaijin. I really expected better from you. And that's all I'm going to have for you today. actually all I'm gonna have for you for this entire year. It's 7 p.m. It's New Year's Eve. I'm gonna be signing off. Thank you all very much for watching. Have a nice New Year's. Be a little bit responsible, but don't forget to have some fun. Thank you very much for watching, for the entire year actually, and I'll see you all next year with another video, of course.